I've become an explorer recently. I found that life's greatest mysteries are solved when you're on the verge of death. This toxic gas setting in should take care of that. And in case I get any crazy ideas, this change just sort of appeared. Well, I don't really want to die, but it looks like I have X amount of minutes before I die anyways, so let's talk Mario.
One of the first games I ever played was Super Mario 64, and look what that's done for me. I have a unique perspective on playing Nintendo games. So many people have nostalgia for one generation or the other. I was in the fortunate position to have access to a Wii, a GameCube, and an N64, all by the time I was out of diapers. Today Mario, tomorrow Fling Smash.
Ow, that whiplash is crazy.
I never cared that one looked disgusting compared to the other. As long as it was fun, I did not care. And that couldn't be more true for Super Mario 64. Man, this game looks terrible these days. Just looking at it, you'd be shocked to think that this is one of the most revolutionary games of all time. I mean, it's colorful, but man, those polygons sharp.
Not sharp enough.
My general opinion of this game has gone down the last couple years, but I felt I was being unfair to it. My last playthrough wasn't on authentic hardware after all, so here it is. This is Super Mario 64, the most revolutionary game of all time. Starting a new save file, we're greeted with a still image and a moving camera. You can tell they were trying to flex the power of the N64. Ocarina of Time starts off the same way, where Navi flies through the open area to show off how big its world is. Not saying it didn't work though. Both of these openings are iconic. Mario jumps out of a pipe and you're just told to go.
Like I wanted to anyways.
You get the first sense of Mario's movement here, and for me, it's like a second sense, man. It's so snappy. Hot take, but I love the feel of the N64 stick. It has a very cheap plasticky feel, but it's so snappy and responsive that I don't care too much. A lot of sticks these days, you push in a direction and it doesn't give you a lot of feedback. You push the N64 stick and your finger may get jammed on its way back. This leads to moves such as the long jump, side flip, back flip, all feeling much more satisfying to perform than it probably should be. The drawback of this stick, however, is that it's more precise than it probably should, and for newcomers, it's going to feel really hard to pull off any string of moves. Like to do a long jump, you have to be at least going a certain speed, otherwise you'll accidentally ground pound. Or if you want to do a mid-air kick and you're already going too fast, you'll dive instead. It's a hard moveset to digest, but once mastered, it feels very, very satisfying to mess with. Though definitely not perfect. The camera, however, is the biggest nuisance of this game. Having precise controls works well if the game already has a perfect camera system. However, that is definitely not the case here. Instead of a stick for a camera, we have these.
Oh!
What the hell is this? I can accept one tumor, not four. All camera movement is based off of these four buttons. The left or right buttons move the camera right and left for some godforsaken reason. The up button lets you enter a stationary first-person camera, which honestly is very useful. But why did they make Mario cover up the middle of the screen?
I appreciate a good spine once in a while.
And the down arrow lets you exit said screen. Why? I could state my frustrations on how they realized that for the stationary first-person camera, using the control stick for the camera works much better than the buttons. But for the actual movement in the game, we're stuck to using buttons for the camera. Mario 64 was developed alongside the development of the N64 controller. Why did they not think to use a second stick for the camera? I get it was the first of its kind, but still, why? Whatever, the camera is passable, but a lot of the time in the more confined levels, the camera angles end up being much more awkward than they probably should be. Moving into the castle. I love Peach's castle. The music is so calm and catchy, which can be said for the entire soundtrack. They reuse a lot of songs throughout the game, but that just goes to show how iconic all of them are that I never got tired of them. In the castle, there are so many options to explore, secrets to uncover. My favorite is this secret level you can find in the back of Hazy Maze cave.
The one and only.
You unlock the middle cap here, but what's cool is if you fall down the stream, instead of just dying, you'll be kicked out to the front of the castle. It acts as a hub world to string the levels together. Each level is contained in some sort of painting, wall, clock, waste pit. It's really fun to discover where the next level is going to be and what's up next.
Only in Hazy Maze.
Levels like Womp's Fortress, Tall Mountain, Snowman's Land, and TikTok Clock are among my favorites. Look, I get TikTok Clock sucks with the camera and the way it's designed spiraling upwards, but it's such a fun concept for a stage, and I've played it so many times now, I'm a huge fan. I wonder if the same goes for Expired Milk.
No.
I can completely get behind people disliking stages such as Rainbow Ride and TikTok Clock, as conceptually, they go against everything the game had been doing up to that point. I don't know though, something about the absurdity of them just makes me like them even more. For someone who has played the game a number of times, I kinda like the extra challenge at this point. Even with the levels that are more open, there are always cool tricks to perform to try completing these levels in new ways. Take this 1 star in Snowman's Land for instance. You can run around the map, hop on these spin drifts, and bam, you're done. Or if you're a maniac, you could try speed kicking up this hill. The game is filled with these extra ways to complete these challenges, whether intended or not. I could complete the secret slide in Tall Mountain, or I could catch a breeze and jump off the side, followed by 1 midair kick to grab the star within the first 20 seconds of loading in.
Could I catch a breeze?
Or in Jolly Roger Bay, you could use the metal cap to grab the star, or you could perfectly swim through the tornado to grab it. I love all the variety, and it makes every playthrough seem that much more different. All the levels have a nice variety of stars, so they're either really difficult to grab, or very quick and easy. While each course may have different objectives, 2 things that remain the same for each are the red coin and 100 coin stars. Depending on how these are handled, they could either be an excellent challenge, or the bane of your existence. For instance, despite Rainbow Ride being an incredibly difficult stage, they decided to be merciful and have the red coins be dedicated to one specific area. They could have easily made you go all throughout the level to have you collect these, but they were smart about it. They did the same thing with Tiny Huge Island, except 1 wrong jump and you automatically lose to a bottomless pit.
Do I have that option?
Big Boo's Haunt has an excellent red coin challenge, asking you to comb through a level that's large but not overwhelming to the point where you can't find anything. Overall, I feel they handled the red coins well, despite a few slight hiccups. The 100 coins though, bro, there are some levels where you can collect every coin, but miss 1 blue coin from this stupid switch, and you're out of luck. I would say the farther into the game you get, the more absurd these 100 coin challenges become. Collecting 100 coins in Rainbow Ride is akin to slowly being left out to rot.
Funny coincidence there.
For a first 100% playthrough, these levels could easily ruin the experience. But for me,
Let's go! I'm back up.
I've memorized every corner of this game, and so the extra challenge is more than welcome for me. TikTok Clock, though, got nothing on me. All the levels are split up behind some sort of progression gate. Collect a certain amount of stars and you'll unlock the lock to open the door.
Uh-huh.
Collect 8 stars and you'll be allowed to tackle Bowser. Clearing his obstacle course and defeating him will allow you to grab a key to unlock the basement of the castle, where there are suddenly 3 more levels for you to explore. Collect 30 and defeat Bowser and you'll unlock the upstairs. 50 will unlock the top floor, and 70 the final showdown. The pacing is fantastic, with something always new to uncover. The Bowser stages themselves would give me chills as a kid, especially the final one. It's a hard linear obstacle course, which you think wouldn't fit within this game, but it helps build up the tension so well to the inevitable Bowser fight, so I'll excuse it. The fight itself is repeated 3 more times throughout the game, but gets progressively more difficult until the final encounter, where you have to toss him off the edge into the floating bombs 3 times to win. You'd think this would get old, but it's so much fun and is always a challenge I'm up for. Beating the final Bowser fight, we save Peach, get a little peck on the cheek, and we're left with the most iconic credits of any video game. Probably. Super Mario 64 is a game that my opinion has wavered on throughout the years. Despite it rapidly aging, the game holds up magnificently. Playing it again with a real N64 controller, a crappy monitor, and all the lag a man could ask for, I find myself wanting to replay it over and over again. Despite it being the most rigged game of all time. Bro, there are so many times where I go for a jump and Mario will lose all momentum because he slightly went up a slope. Or how about the aforementioned lag messing with your perfect swimming rhythm? How about the insta-death quicksand and dry desert? Or just the entire waste of a stage that is Dire Docks? This game is so jank at random points, 9 out of 10.
Looks like my time's just about out. It's been nice talking, you know. Wasting my time talking about Mario. What? I thought I wasted all this last week.